So I'm Tim from the Fupa Goddess, and you're listening to DIEnecology.
Do you ever fantasize about being killed? About all the different ways of dying?
Is it to awaken the fear of the passing of time? Or is it the failing beat of your own heart?
They learned parts of a dismembered female body had been found in a remote corner of San Bernardino County. Why was her skull left outside a local restaurant? And where is the rest of her body?
Death is only the beginning.
All right, Corey Gore Christ, DIEnecology Podcast. I'm your gynecologist. Here today with Tim of Fupa Goddess. A lot of fun. Been looking forward to this interview. They got Fuck Your Face. It's their full length out now on Horror, Pain, Gore, Death Productions. And you've also released a EP today.
Yeah,
Ritual
I got
Sex Congregations.
got bored last night, so dropped another 13 tracks because
If anyone knows Fupa Goddess, since 2021, you're all the machines. You have so many EPs, singles, splits. I mean, it's awesome. So there's never a shortage of Fupa Goddess music to jam out to. So
always trying to put in the most amount of work.
hell yeah. Yeah, it's very admirable. I love it. So I guess for newer viewers out there, just talk a little bit about the band real quick before we get into the real nitty-gritty. We'll talk about the full length and everything. Um, we're giving your guys history, just do a little background on that. Just
Well, I
Fupa
mean,
Goddess.
Fupa Goddess basically started as a project that I I was in a lot of bands, and you go, well, we're band practice from this time to this time. We got all these shows coming up, and they're like, can't do that. I don't have time to like practice or do any of that. I'm like, I mean, I want to do it,
Yeah.
so I was like, I know enough people that can do some backing tracks for me. I can get vocals done. So I'm like, that's really what I want to do. Is like music is my second passion next to cooking and stuff like that. So I'm like,
Okay.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
I got to get that done.
Yeah. So I mean, if they can't hang, you do it yourself. Um, if any musician knows, it's very hard to keep a bunch of people doing, on the same page. And
Well, no,
and
we all got big boy jobs. I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
just life.
yep, yeah. It's hard to do. People have families too. People have other
Mm.
obligations. It's hard to, even with my band now, a couple of them are in other bands. They have home lives. They're moving around. They got jobs, and for me, I only work weekends. That's usually when a lot of people are off, so it's hard to kind of fit in the schedule with everybody. You
Oh,
got
no doubt. Like weekends are the hardest. Where it's
yeah,
like if you're free on the weekends, other people aren't free on the weekends, vice versa, stuff like
yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah, so I've had to, get off at 5:30, work 12 hours. I've had to drive, over 2 hours, play a show and come back home, work in the morning. I mean, it's a grind, but if it's part of what you want to do, that's what you do.
well, no, we do it because we love it, not because we're gonna
Exactly.
get rich doing it.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
everybody
let's
knows
be
that's not a
honest.
thing.
Fupa Goddess and then my band Truck Stop Dick Pill. We're in it to have fun, you know what I mean? And that's the sacrifice you make. It's like I can get 2 hours sleep if I'm playing a show for an hour and having fun with the bands and the
Well, no,
people there and.
if the show's worth it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like
yeah,
I drove by myself to Massachusetts a couple weeks ago, and that was like 13 plus hours for like an all day festival.
yeah, Had
But
it.
it was a great show.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, it's a grind, but you do it because you have fun doing it.
Oh, no
Um,
doubt.
and it's a crazy thing with like metal too, I love the crowds. People are always wild and just kind of you don't really know what to expect from each show, who shows up and what they do. So that's always good. And it's a plus when the bands are cool and get to meet people, even like on mixed bill stuff where they're not necessarily like, kind of your thing to listen to. The bands can be like, hey man, you guys were good, a lot of respect there. So that's always cool too. To
Well, I mean,
kind of
that's the biggest thing is just enjoying all the other bands that are playing.
yeah.
Like you drive like 8, 10, 12 plus hours. Like
Yeah.
you better have a fun time while you're there. Otherwise, it's a very long day.
Yeah, it's a long drive home too,
Mhm.
Right, so if you're not in it, you're not in it. But, like I said, I enjoy myself so far. So it's been a while since I've got to do all that. But let's talk about more Fupa Goddess. So fuck your face. I love the Smile album cover. It's pretty sick. I might go see the second one after this actually. So um need to see some more
Yeah,
horror.
I watched Smile too.
Yeah,
Definitely worth a watch.
good. Okay. It's good. Yeah, I watched Fried Berry. That movie's fucking nuts. If you haven't seen
Oh
that.
yeah,
It's good.
definitely a wild one.
I hadn't heard of it because I had just got Shudder because they did like a trial thing for the month, and I went ahead and just got like a subscription. So I haven't had one because I haven't watched like a lot of newer horror movies in a while. Like at least, that's on like Shudder, stuff like that. Like I've went out to the movies and seen a few things, but
Yeah.
wanted to check out some movies I haven't seen or heard of. So saw Fried Berry and I noticed, the guy directing that is doing the new Street Trash. So I was like, all right, I want to see
Should
this
be a good
guy's.
watch because
Yeah.
that guy's a crazy director.
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to see that, just see what, his previous work is like and it's in good hands because that Fried Berry was a fucking trip. It was awesome.
Oh yeah,
That's the kind of shit I love, just really whacked out, kind of trippy, not too gory, which I do love gore obviously, but it was just it was out there, The way I described it to a friend of mine was like it's kind of like Greasy Strangler meets like Mandy as far as the vibes of it, like how
oh
weird it
no doubt.
is.
But
Yeah.
it's also basically alien abduction.
Yeah.
Basically, if
Yeah.
you eat an entire bag of drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a drug-induced alien abduction movie
Oh yeah.
overall, but a
So
very
you're just
very
waiting
fun.
for him to burn out the entire movie.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, very good. And then I finally finished Psycho Gore, man. That movie's awesome. A lot of fun. That one reminded me of oh god, I can't think of the name of that movie. Was it Turbo Kid? That movie was good too. It's kind of like that. Just like
It was
super
a good one.
out there
Mm.
retro like Canadian movie. Like it's just you can tell it's Canadian the second it starts. Um and I love that kind of shit. So Canadians can make really good like throwback style movies like 80s, early 90s style shit.
Well, yeah, because it's 2024 here. They're still in the 90s because they're always at least a decade and a half behind.
Yeah. And I love that for them, and a lot of like I grew up like a Nickelodeon kid. A lot of those actors were Canadian, so like and
Yeah, that's
it
like
makes
what
sense.
like Goosebumps and all those
Yeah.
like kid shows growing up were like all the Canadian shows, and you go,
Yep.
I didn't even know they shot all of them in Canada.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's kind of like they know how to do it because they were doing it then, the actors and stuff.
Yeah,
So kind of get that vibe just from the actors themselves and the feel of it. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was a good movie. But so yeah, fuck your face. I guess talk a little bit about that. So that one's actually a full length. Um, just talk a little bit about making that. How long did it take? Where'd you record?
yeah. That was an interesting one because we were like, yeah, we should take some time and actually like record like a full length because we've had like some releases with like 8 tracks, 9 tracks, hit or miss, like
Yeah.
people like about half type release stuff. And then I watched Smile and I was like, I really like this photo for it. Like I
Yeah.
screenshotted it and I was like, we should just work on this.
Yeah.
And then whatever we do outside of that, we can do splits, comps, stuff like this. But this is what we're working on.
Yeah.
So and they're like, well, how many tracks do we do? And I was like, well, I mean, every split comp stuff, at least do 2 to 1, 1 to 2, at least keep one for the full length.
Right.
And then it was basically the more funny of a sound clip we found, the more it made us laugh,
Yeah.
the more we started working on it. It was like, no, that's for the full length, that's for
Yeah.
this, that's for the full length, that's for a comp. Just I mean, it was a lot of fun to work on because the the guys in this band, I love both of them. We're technically a three-piece,
Yeah.
even though if we don't play tour shows, there's three of us. So it's
Yeah.
me, it's Harry, it's Aaron, aka Fupa Goddess, Papa Swamp, the Wild Man.
Hell
No
yeah.
matter what configuration we have, it's the three of us. So that's literally what, like, we. I was joking about it the other day, where it's like where one or more of us are, there is the Fupa. Just out here doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, that's right. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, it's really sick. I love Banzo samples because I like to figure out where they're from. A lot of times I'll recognize them because I'm huge movie buff, so I try to like be like, oh shit, they're using,
Well,
this, you know. It's
well,
always
that's
fun.
that's one of the things I've always had fun with. Is I'm
Yeah.
a huge like B movie, G movie,
Yeah.
all the way to like Z movie. Like if something's funny and I hear a funny line, I immediately get my phone running and I'm like, I'm gonna use this for something.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing the same things. Now I finally have a project where I can get away with doing that and just having kind of whatever, something that's funny, something that's, just try not to have too much
Well,
serious quotes. Like if I do, it'd be like something like Con Air, something like that. Like just something fun that I love. That my friends
well, I mean
know,
that. Well, I mean that's like how my entire day goes, where it's like someone will say something, and I literally just add it into a movie thing. Where you just go
Yeah.
Con Air, and I just go, put the bunny back. And you just go, why did I say that? Oh, because
Yeah.
that's just in my brain.
Yeah, most of my responses it's like A or B, and A is usually some kind of movie quote uh that most of the time the people won't get unless I know they get it. So it's like it's fun when you can put them into songs, and then whether they get it or not, it's there, it fits, and people can have a good laugh or just be like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's awesome." Um, so yeah, I mean the album's good. Now it's not your first like full length, is it? Technically.
Well, we've had a few full lengths. This is the first one that we had like a hard copy release for a while,
Okay, yeah.
because technically our first full length was Ass on Backwards.
Yeah.
So it's like you go Spotify, everybody goes, man, I love that Jonestown Juice Cleanse, and I'm like, name another song,
Yeah.
I'll wait. So
Yeah,
it's
you got
like
like
technically that was
1,000.
like our first full length, but this is
Mm.
the first one we actually got like pressed CDs. So I'm like going to a show being like, hey, I can sell these, and people are like, well, that has a wrapping on it, like that
Yeah.
has, this looks like I could actually buy it in a store. And I'm like, that's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome and it's a good one to start with, especially the album cover. That's good to have in a collection too. Do you guys plan on maybe in the future releasing some of your other stuff physical release? Like do you have like any ones you would if you had the
I mean,
choice
I
to?
would I would love to do like for every year we've actually been a band, actually doing like a compilation release of just like our favorite songs for that year type thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Kind
Yeah.
of like a greatest hits.
Yeah, hell yeah. or
Like
choice
that would
cuts,
be a
like
lot of fun.
carcass style, you know. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, then for the new one, you said you had all the songs already done, or did you write it last night? The
I've I've been working with like the BandLab app and kind of like
okay, yeah, yeah.
learning how to like instrument map and like put pieces in and kind of like actually like tab stuff out. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I've been working on that for a while. So I had like a group of ideas and I basically was like, can I put a release out just like by this is the first release I've ever done, like all the instruments and stuff, mixing, mastering. I did that by myself. So this is the
Nice, nice.
first one. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, yeah, I dropped that on Bandcamp last night. So that's 13 new tracks. Little bit different. It's not like it's brutal, but it's not like over the top. Like it's
Yeah.
all like you can like bob your head to it type stuff instead of just be like, this is loud, this is crazy.
Right. A
But
little more straightforward, I guess. Yeah.
I made sure to add all the sound clips to make people go, yeah, it's still funny because what I love doing. Like
Right.
if sound clip makes me laugh, I'm gonna save it and use it for something.
Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's like I said, I do the same thing. If I see something like, oh, I gotta save that. I'm gonna use that at some point, you know.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't heard the new one yet. I just now found out, I was looking up stuff that you dropped something else today, so I'll definitely have to go check out the Bandcamp. I'll put the
Yeah,
link in there.
definitely got more of like an old school death metal kind of vibe to it because it's
I
like
dig it.
kind of drone instead of like heavy punchy stuff, but it's got like I think I did pretty well. Like people are like, I like this, and I'm like, thank you.
Now, when you guys play shows, you gonna do any of those songs, like have the band learn it, or is it just something for fun to put out?
Sometimes, depending on the show, I'll be like, hey, we should like split this and do a couple of these, depending on how much time they give us, because
Right.
you never know. Like I know the next like major show we got is November 23rd. Florida will be in Orlando with Cemetery Rapist. So that
Nice.
should be that should be a pretty crazy one because
Hell yeah.
like everybody tries to say they hate Cemetery Rapist, but it's a great live show. Like,
Who says
he's a
they
great
hate
dude.
him? Yeah, I like him.
So yeah, he's doing like a full like Southern show, like Southern
Nice.
tour. So that should be fun.
That's not the only date you guys are doing, just the Florida.
That's all we got booked for right now, probably till the end of the year.
Word.
We did get a message about playing a benefit show in Maine, so that might be a one-off I do,
Nice.
but it just depends on if I'm able to fly up that way or not.
Right.
But other than that, it'll be in the new year. We've got February 28th through March 1st is the Mardi Gras Grind Fest. Like
Nice.
actually in New Orleans. So
That's sick.
we'll be on the second day of that one, and then basically just looking for people that want to book us to play shows.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, I can
Which I think we got March 8th. We'll be in Tennessee actually.
nice.
Like it would be a Murfreesboro show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not far from me.
I don't know who all's involved in that show yet, but we've been asked about it, and I was like, well, I mean, if I can swing it,
Yeah.
I'll be down to play.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'll make it up for that. We'll try to get you here in Knoxville too if you need a date around here. So I know a few people, or Chattanooga. I know people that book up there. Might be a little easier.
Definitely trying to network. I know there's a lot of like eastern places that want us, but then there's a lot of like western states that want us, and I'm like, that's a long drive.
Yeah.
That's a long one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, I could fly in and do a one off, but you're literally just paying for a plane ticket. So
Yeah, it's it's almost not worth it for that. It's far.
pretty much.
Yeah. So, it's good. Like southeast, you can hit up a lot of different places, a lot
Mm,
closer, like driving really. So, um, it's not that far. If Tennessee's kind of a good spot because you can go to North Carolina, it's 3 hours. You can go to Atlanta, that's 2 hours or 3 hours, or you know, Kentucky is also like
mm.
maybe 2, 3 hours. I mean, it's all like right there, so you can hit up a lot of places
Oh
if
yeah,
you're.
not too long ago, I played South Carolina. That was a fun show.
Yeah, yeah,
Commie House, Columbia.
yeah.
That was
Columbia is
great,
a good
great,
spot.
great turnout.
Yeah, they got a good scene out there
Mm,
for sure, and so does like Lexington and Louisville and
mm,
Ohio too. I mean that's further up, but I mean once you're in
yeah,
Kentucky, Ohio's not that far either, so they got a good scene up there. Um, yeah, there's a lot of spots. It's pretty cool. It's nice to see um the ease of it now and how I think it's a lot more simple for bands to network and come around and do shorter tours. If you're DIY, I think it's gotten a lot easier in a way. It's more expensive, I think now, but
yeah. But I mean, you
it's
basically
easier.
is built for that. Whereas
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
if you're gonna do like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back home by Monday, it's not
Right.
that bad.
Yeah, really, it's not. And you could find some sick spots,
Mm,
place to eat. You got,
oh yeah,
bars your thing. I'm sure there's plenty of places. A lot of these DIY spots are near like college areas, stuff like that. Which ours is as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Um, and hopefully, you guys get some more shows and you fuck it up out there, man.
do what?
So hopefully you get some more shows and fuck them up.
I mean, we definitely want to.
Yeah.
Like I think we are trying to do like a local like benefit show here for
Yeah.
all the hurricanes that went
Hmm.
down that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do now.
Yeah. Yeah, we did one and then we might do another one in this next month. We're gonna try to. Um we'll see what happens with that. But we did do one. It's pretty awesome. Um they need all the help they can get, so if you can have some
Always, yeah.
metal band step up and
Mhm.
do the thing, that's a good thing. Because we care about our people, even though people think we're crazy. But of
Well, no, like well, no, we definitely love our friends and family for sure.
course, yeah. So it's a good thing. Well, speaking of devastation, the other half we usually do in the podcast is we talk about uh just death in general and just how we, because death metal is a crazy thing as far as like how people tap into it lyrically and the thematics of it. Try to get an understanding about where it comes from. Me as a lyricist, vocalist myself, I almost can't answer that question. It's more of like it's always been around for me. I've always had an understanding of it. And I was a horror kid growing up. That's usually where it lands for a lot of people to get inspiration, and just death metal already being around and extreme music kind of drawing inspiration from that, being able to write these kind of things, comics,
Yeah.
it's everywhere pretty much. So kind of just your own perspective on it and where you kind of draw you know, your ability to write these kind of themes, like where it comes from for you.
Well, I mean, I grew up like both my mom and dad are super musical. My dad play anything with strings. My mom sings, plays like woodwind instruments type thing.
Nice.
So it's like I kind of grew up with both sides of the coin on that. To be like, if my dad had a song that was like, I like how this sounds, and then my mom was like, I like how this is written vocally wise.
Yeah, yeah.
You kind of get that little dichotomy on it. So my whole thing was just kind of like finding songs I liked on both sides of the
Yeah.
point of it. Of being like, I grew up like my dad was like, "Oh, you should listen to Nazareth. Like Nazareth is like that's the heavy band."
Hell yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, Nazareth, all right." And then my mom's like, "Yeah, the Monkees. You should listen to the Monkees. Like Monkees and the Beatles." And my dad's like, "Nazareth and the Eagles." And you go, "All
Yeah.
right." So
Hell yeah.
you're starting on way too crazy sides of the spectrum. And then for the longest time, I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what I want to listen to, like music wise. Like I would listen to it a little bit here, a little bit there, and like start listening to a little more heavier and heavier stuff. And I'm like, oh, this might be the heaviest thing I ever listened to. This is the heaviest song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And then I'd meet like an older kid, and he'd be like, yeah, you should listen to this band. They're called Lamb of God. And I was like, Lamb of God? Oh, I'll check them out.
Yeah.
And it was like Slipknot, Lamb of God, and like Bury Your Dead, and like
Hell yeah.
anything like I would get like it's weird, like lyrically wise, I get more into riffs, get me hype as
Yeah.
opposed to lyrics sometimes.
Same. Me too, yeah.
Where it's like when I start to hear like a certain way a song is written, I don't care what the lyrics are. I
Yeah.
kind of enjoy the roller coaster of how the song's going.
For sure, yeah.
And people go like, "Oh, like how do you come up with your lyrics?" And I go, "Well, I started doing lyrics when I was 13.
Yep.
I turned 36 this year, so I've technically been doing lyrics for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So it's like my biggest thing is finding a new way to approach lyrics
Yeah.
type thing where you go, oh, I've heard this, I've heard that, I've heard this. I just get bored and fuck around and do stuff with my mouth. Be like,
Yeah.
what sound can I get out of this to do a sound make people go, how'd you do that? Like lyric writing, if a song is a minute and a half,
Yeah.
I think I might have like 45 seconds of actual lyrics,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't even know how to explain like the structure of it. Like I'll hear a certain beat and just start going with the beat sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's people always message me and go, "Oh, I love how you do vocals. Like, how do you do this type of vocals and this type of vocals?" I'm like, I was like, it's just like working out. Like it's you're working out muscles. Like
Yeah.
if it hurts when you do it, you're not doing it right.
Right.
You just got to get the right like mind state type thing.
Yeah, I usually tell people when they ask me, like, if you can just make the most insane face possible, you probably get a decent sound out of it. Because I figure a lot of it's just mouth and throat and tongue. You know, it's not even so much diaphragm anymore for me. You can just do it all with your face. So I mean, you just gotta make it. Try to just do some different movements with your mouth, like you know, just fuck with.
My whole thing is people are like, what effects do you use live? And I'm like, none.
Yeah, it's just
I only do live mic.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, it doesn't sound like this. And I'm like, I know, but I'm doing the same vocals with a live mic.
Yeah.
Because I've been to so many places where I'm like, I need this plug-in, I need this plug-in, I need this. And they go, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's so much easier to like give me a microphone to plug in
Yeah.
and be like, oh no, like I can't play because I don't have these 3 effects to play on.
Yeah, I need my pedal board for my vocals. It's like, no, you, oh, okay. I mean, I get it if you're a certain kind of approach and it's, it's meant to be completely distorted. Um, but not even like death metal, if you're some progressive band. If you're doing some like Peter Frampton shit, cool. But I don't know. It's you're just doing death metal, just fucking do it.
Well, I mean that's my whole thing is I use SM57 Live.
Yeah.
I use an instrument mic for vocals,
Yeah.
so I've got the one that catches low end on it.
Hmm.
So that's one I can actually cup live and not get weird feedback
Yeah.
from it. So I'm like, if this is the microphone I'm using, so this is what I'm going to make the noise with.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if people go out of their way to make it too much of a project. It's like just go out there and make sounds, man.
Yeah,
It's easy. It's fun.
yeah. Be like, oh, what do you got? 15 minutes of music. I can do 30 staying on my head.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah. And can just improv too. I mean, just you can figure out
yeah.
new things when you do it
Oh,
live anyway.
like that's literally my whole thing. Is people were like, well, we need a band that sounds like this, a band that sounds like this, a band that sounds like that. I'm like, I have a release every genre you can think of. So I'm like, and people are like, I don't think you fit the bill, and I'm like, try me.
It's like
Well,
we
that was
got
literally
material.
well, that was the biggest thing is people were like, I don't know if you fit this show, and I'm like, where are all the bands like hardcore? I got a hardcore set. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a thrash set. I got thrash songs, death metal, old school. We got a black metal set. Like,
Yeah.
if you want us to play a show, I'll be on your show.
Yeah. I also think mixed bills are fun and it's a better way to get variety. Like having just a bunch, especially hardcore, and I love hardcore. You get
Yeah,
a complete hardcore bill. You're going to hear the same breakdown a time or two from like three of the different bands. So, I mean, you got to get different bands in there and not just have the same bands playing the same shows with the same genre. Like it's just, like you can do
well,
that,
no,
but I
that's the
like
biggest thing.
seeing
Is I
a
was
bunch of
always saying
bands.
is like, there's so many bands always playing the same shows,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there's so many bands. Like when people are like, oh, we only want new bands on this show. And I'm like, we're not a new band, but we can play on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've,
And
I've
people are
seen it
like,
happen
oh,
a lot.
I'm not sure if you'll fit.
If we're a
Either you
metal
want us to
band, we
play on the show
fit.
or not.
Yeah. We're a metal band, we fit. Like, you know, uh, especially anything. Like I can see a grind band, hardcore band, death metal band, old school death metal,
Yeah.
whatever. They all fit each other. It's a metal show. Put them all on there, you get people that want to hear new shit and they'll get into it. They'll be like, "Oh, I've never heard this kind of like metal before." We're like, well, here you go, you
Well, no,
know.
I mean, that's the biggest thing is you have to be willing to open your mind to like other bands
Yeah.
because every touring band, every famous band started out as a local band.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough people understand that concept
Yeah.
where they just go, "Oh, I don't go to like local bars. I don't do this. I don't like support local music." And I'm like, you understand like all these bands that you grew up loving and worshiping and stuff are local bands somewhere.
Yeah.
Like they started as a showcase band. They started as a band that you got 5 minutes, you got three songs,
Yeah.
show us what you got.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough people understand that
Yeah.
today type thing where they just go, I only go to like giant like venue shows and this and that. And it's like, you don't understand, like the giant venue shows, those promoters are ripping you off type thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, you might have a fun night, but if you go to a local show, you might have a fun life because you're going to meet like people that are all into the same thing you are, and they're going to introduce you into a new idea. Like it's just you have to open yourself up to like music is what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And one fun way to do that is just have mixed bills. So then you have,
Yeah,
and you can get those bands on the mixed bill, even if it's not your thing that you booked. Like other people there that want to book you at other shit can do that. They're like, hey, you're really good. We got another show coming up, and there's all these bands. You want to play this one? Yeah, it's just a good way to get everybody to network and not just build a specific community within a scene, whereas you can build a scene, like an entire scene,
Yeah.
And I understand there's like subgenres and there's certain things, where people only want to hear one style of thing, and that's fine. You can have shows for that, but it's good to have the mixed shows too, and it's very
Yeah.
important. We
But I
played
mean,
a show.
that's literally everybody. But like you have to like understand there's more to art
Yeah,
technically. Like music is art.
yeah,
Art is subjective. So
all
even
right,
if you go, I don't like that, that doesn't mean it's not good.
yeah.
You're just not on that wavelength for that.
Or even that it doesn't fit because it's like it fits everywhere. You
Mm,
go to a museum, there's not just all the same kind of artwork in one spot. It's all different. Same artist will make 20 different types of paintings that are all
yeah.
different from the other one. Have different meanings, different style, different time periods, different messages, whatever.
Mm,
So like, a couple weeks ago, we're like the only slam band around here that were considered that. But we played a show a couple weeks ago, the benefit show, and it was with like a doom band, like a psychedelic kind of like Mastodon kind of band. We
mm,
played with like a death metal band, and then like just a kind of like a bar like metal band kind of thing, like a bunch of different shit, and it was a lot of fun. Like, and everybody was like, "Hey, that was really cool," or like, you know, made friends out of it just by playing a bunch of bands that we wouldn't have fit if they had tried to make that into a specific show. None of us would have fit together, but
yeah.
we all had a good time. We all watched each other play. That's all that matters.
Yeah, because we're like, if every local band is trying to find another venue to play a show with other local bands,
Yeah.
like that's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, we're just trying to play. I don't care
Yeah.
who's there. I don't.
Like
We
it's
play
all
with
about
rappers
network.
and
It's
shit at
all
that
about
show.
networking.
Yeah, we play with a couple rappers at that show. I mean, I don't care. I'll play with just a straight rap bill. We'll be the only metal band on there. I don't give a shit. If you want us to play somewhere, we'll play it. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only got the stupid trial thing on here, so it's gonna wrap here in like a minute. But yeah, I know it was quick, but I appreciate you taking the time to do this and hanging out for a little bit, shooting the shit. And
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
yeah, excited for to check out that uh what is it called? It was ritual
Ritual
sex
sexual
sexual
congregation.
congregations, yes. On
You know,
Bandcamp.
basically it's mashing words together until they make funny.
I'm excited to listen to that. It's on Bandcamp. I'll put the link below, and also for your the Fuck Your Face full length that's out now on horror horror pain death gore
Yep.
productions. I always get that wrong.
Then we got two shirts available through them too. So you got one with the album art and one with our stupid faces on it.
That's
So
awesome.
whichever one you want.
I love them both. But yeah, hopefully, you we'll get you guys down here. We'll come up and see you in Murfreesboro or something, and try to get this split done too. We'll get some shit done. Have a good
Yeah,
time. Yeah, man.
that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely hype on that.